Hey, Watchers! 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 Danger Zone! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, 'tis I, Michael A. Grimm, aka the Multi-Voice. I have many voices, but one opinion, and today I am going to review a secret agent series that is definitely a parody of spy films, which is Archer. Now, one thing I would like to say, I know I mentioned this before, but it does bear repeat. If you ever read any of Ian Fleming's books of James Bond, and you start reading the personality and the way James Bond has behaved, his personality is a lot like Sterling Archer. Because in the original books of Bond, he is self-centered, selfish, arrogant, alcoholic, and also a big man whore. He just wouldn't keep his pants zipped every time he sees a hot woman passing by. That pretty much fit the description of Archer. But and the way how I delve this character is this one. The guy who does the voice of Sterling Archer is none other than H. John Benjamin. Now, I know that H. John Benjamin looks nothing like his character, but he does a pretty damn good job playing a selfish, self-centered, arrogant spy who turns out he's a real mama's boy. His behavior came from his mother. And he's a big fan of Burt Reynolds, which he does make an appearance in the series, and he's also a big fan of Kenny Loggins' songs Danger Zone, which he himself makes an appearance of. And of course, the woman who plays his mother, Mallory Archer, is voiced by none other than Jessica Walter. And I gotta say, when she plays Mallory Archer, she plays it the same way she plays the mom from Arrested Development. Always an alcoholic, selfish, bitchy, a real steel clad bitch. And one thing is pretty odd, Archer gets really turned on if he ever thinks about his mother dead. He gets turned on by that. I guess deep down inside, he hates his mom so much that he gets aroused by it. It's god damn. Ugh. And of course, there is this one woman agent who's sort of like his on again, off again kind of agent. She goes by the name of Lana Kane, voiced by the lovely and ever so hot and funny Aisha Tyler. Aisha Tyler, the way she plays Lana Kane, she's the kind of woman who puts up with Archer's arrogance. And always, every time when Archer does something stupid, she gets so annoyed she'll scream at him in order to shut him up. But it turns out that even though they go into a fight, we start a sentence a little bit like, every time they hate each other, they want to have sex with each other. So that's why they have this sort of on again, off again. And deep down inside, Archer, he really does love her. It's just his arrogance and his selfishness gets in the way. That's why he is the way he is. And of course, he also have a servant who goes by the name of Millhouse, played by the late great George Cole. He's supposed to be a servant, but he does treat him like a slave and always abuses him when he doesn't want things his way. Damn. And of course, the rest of the member. Actually, there was a secretary. A secretary who is not right up here. She's like mentally disturbed. And she goes by the name of Cheryl Tunt, played by the ever so sexy and really hot and funny Judy Greer. But every time when somebody tries to tell her what to do, she always keeps saying, "You're not my supervisor!" And she's always so obsessed with sniffing glue and burning things. But the weirdest thing of all, she likes. I mean, she's more into the S&M, and she's more of a masochist. I mean, when she is sleeping with somebody, she likes it when somebody is squeezing her throat while she's having sex. Disturbing. Oh yeah, I do have to recommend you folks that Archer is not for kids, so I don't recommend kids to start watching that show. And we also have this counselor who goes by the name of Pam Pouvier, voiced by Amber Nash. Now, Pam, on the other hand, I mean, she has more layers in her life. I mean, she's an overweight woman who pretty much likes to cook, likes to eat, and also got into bare knuckle boxing. So every time when somebody punches her in the face, she said, "Is that what you got, pussy? You call that a punch? That's a love tap." Always creeping the hell out of people. And we also have an account. I mean, the accountant I forgot to mention is Ciro Figgis, voiced by Chris Parnell. Now, he was an accountant who is really good with numbers, but sometimes he feels like he goes through a miserable life. Like he always binge eats after sex, and also he does have the hots for Lana Kane and also tries to marry her and trying to rub it in his dad's face, thinking that he would have never amount to anything, but being with Lana Kane with her sexuality pretty much rub it in his dad's face, but Lana Kane doesn't go any further with Cyril. I mean, she doesn't even really like him at all. I mean, when she tries to tell him that she loves him, she said, "I like you so much." And he was like, "Wait, like?" Oh yeah, and also one thing I know about Lana Kane is she also likes to keep the mood going by watching some interracial adult videos. Hmm. But anyway, they also have a gay member in their team who goes by the name of Ray Gillett, voiced by Adam Reed. Now, one thing about Ray, he does act a bit like a prima donna kind of guy and always keeps talking down to himself because, I mean, he selfishly likes to use expensive stuff without even thinking about the mission. And always, when he tries to eat something that has a lot of cholesterol, he always talks down to himself, calling himself a fatty. Which, believe it or not, he does act like a real bitch. And of course, every time throughout the show, I mean, he walks, but all of a sudden he gets shot, ends up paralyzed, ends up in a wheelchair, until a mad doctor was able to give him mechanical robotic legs and makes him able to walk. And the mad scientist of their group, he goes by the name of Dr. Krieger, played by Lucky Yates. Now, Lucky Yates, he does have a shady past. A lot of people would say that he was one of the children of Hitler. And he does, spat out German words. And he also has a holographic bride. I mean, he has like a wife who's a Japanese animated hologram, which I gotta say that's kind of weird. And of course, here's a little something that's kind of interesting. It turns out that Mallory Archer has this sort of fling going with the general of the KGB. So even, and of course, they're Now, bear with me on this one. Their organization is called ISIS, but the show itself came out in 2016, 2017. So it was way before we had the terrorist organization called ISIS. And of course, Sterling Archer meets his rival, who goes by the name of Barry. Now, he starts out as a human until Archer wounded him pretty bad. So now they sort of $6 million him, except he acts like a lunatic, like he has a split personality, and his other personality wants to kill Archer or make his life a living hell for what Archer done to him. And of course, his former boss, of course, it's Lynn Trexler, voiced by Jeffrey Tubble. And that's not the only time that he was with um, Jessica Walter, because they both were together in Arrested Development, so it's sort of like a reunion there. And yeah, I'm aware about Jessica Walter, who passed away. She was one of the most hilarious legends. And of course, I know a lot of people do say that most people remember her from that Clint Eastwood movie, Play Misty for Me. Well, I'm not playing Misty for her. And then all of a sudden, Sterling Archer discovered that now his mother finally has the right man in his life that she loyally marries, and that is Ron Cadillac, voiced by Jennifer Walters' husband, real life husband, Ron Lieberman. And I also heard about him passing away too. And I gotta say, Jessica Walter and Ron Lieberman, I mean, they have a really good chemistry because they're both real life husband and wife. So it's pretty awesome. Pretty cool. And of course, there was even a new woman in Archer's life, and she goes by the name of Katya Kuznova, who is a former KGB agent, but when she saw Sterling Archer, she was madly in love with him, that she even saved his life and got him out of Russia, and she wanted him to take her with him. And they wanted her to be part of ISIS instead of the KGB, and they did. And of course, Archer was really happy being with Katya until Barry showed up and killed her. But Krieger brought her back to life as a cyborg. And Katya is voiced by the lovely and very attractive Ona Gruer. Ona Gruer. Can't pronounce her last name right, so. But of course, even though she came back to life as a cyborg and Barry is still around, and then there was a fight between Katya and Barry, but after the fight, they started ending up sleeping with each other, and that pretty much broke Archer's heart. And now Barry used to take over the KGB now, and now Katya takes over because she still loves Archer, but she wants Barry to stay away from Archer, which he broke the promise. So now she's taking over the KGB. Imagine that. And of course, even and now before Ron, Mallory Archer even had a relationship with Burt Reynolds, played by himself, and of course, I mean, there was a lot of issue going. I mean, a lot of things going on. Even they had Rip Riley, voiced by Patrick Warburton, who's an airplane pilot, trying to bring Archer back, but Archer, he just kept sabotaging everything so he could become a pirate king. But that sort of backfired. And then after all that, all of a sudden, ISIS has a bit of a problem. I mean, I guess it was during the time when we have the terrorist organization known as ISIS, so now ISIS is no more, and the FBI shows up, and we have the FBI agent involved, and of course, one of his team members, Slater, voiced by Christian Slater, first Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, now this. and And of course, they even had their vice involved, where they got themselves involved with cocaine, trying to smuggle them. And of course, Chris Stahl, she starts having a country singer voice and become a country singer. That's where Kenny Loggins showed up, and they both did a duet by singing, "I went through the danger zone. I went to the danger zone." And then all of a sudden, Archer got himself in. I mean, Cyril Fig has created a I mean, since the last mission with the CIA was, I mean, they foiled one of their mission because of Kruger's selfishness and everything. So now they run a detective agency and trying to help out a very famous and beautiful actress, which Archer has a hots for, but it turns out she was a treacherous double dealing bitch. He got shot in the chest, so now he ends up in a coma. And then they did these episodes, which is supposed to be his coma dream. First coma he had, he one series called Dreamland, where Archer is now a private investigator in a film noir parody, where his private eye partner got murdered, and he's trying to figure out who is responsible to his death. While at the same time, Lana was actually, I mean, she starts out as a lounge singer, but it turns out she's part of the treasury for smuggling women from China into America. And of course, Krieger, who is a bartender, made Barry into a cyborg and tries to kill Lynn and also Archer. And then another dream, and then in the other coma dream that Archer had, which is Danger Island, where now Archer is an airplane pilot who's supposed to be picking up passengers into the island and taking them back, and Pam is a bodybuilding assistant. I mean, she has a lot of muscle, and of course Krieger is a talking parrot, and Mallory, she's a club owner in Danger Island. Cristal, she was a rich woman who Archer ruined her marriage, so now she stays in the hotel as a call girl. Ray as a French policeman, and of course Lana Kane, she's a princess from one of the islands who's trying to find this ancient radium statue that worth a lot of money. And of course, Cyril Figgis, he plays a German spy who wants to get that item. Unbelievable. And then the third coma dream that he had was, of course, Archer 1999, where now it's a science fiction referencing aliens and other sci-fi stuff. Pam is a giant rock-like monster with super strength, and Ray is a cyborg, an android, just like the ones in Aliens, and also Barry is a robot from another planet. And of course, they meet this one alien who has like cosmic powers, but all he wants to do is commit suicide by exploding himself. So they try to keep him safe until they meet a bad guy that they need to get rid of. So they let that alien go to that bad guy so he can blow up. Voiced by legendary Matt Berry. You shut your freaking mouth! Fire the nuclear weapon! Mine the gap! I like imitating him. I'm a one-track lover down a two-way lane. Anyway, after the coma, Archer finally woke up and saw how everything has finally changed. I mean, he saw everything has finally changed and noticed that that Lana, she still has her daughter and she's finally growing up, and and of course Lana named her AJ, which she is voiced by Kimberly Woods. Lana taught her everything about how to become, smart, cunning, and self-defense. And of course, there is this guy who goes by the name of Robert, who was playing games with Lana and Archer because he know they both still have a thing for each other, and he sort of wedged himself in between, but also planning his way to keep them together instead of separate, which it's kind of odd, if you ask me. And of course, they meet this agent guy who goes by the name of Febrin Kingworth, voiced by Kevin Novick. And one thing he does is he always keeps putting these guys into a mission, and he even puts into a double dealing kind of mission to make them look bad. So you don't even know if he's in the good or bad. And of course, one thing it's really shocking that that the this was the final series where they gave a farewell to Jessica and also Ron, because Mallory Archer decided to leave ISIS for good and let Lana Kane take over the organization. And that's when, at the end of the episode, that's when they brought out that thing says, "For the loving memories of Jessica Walter." So I guess it was her last thing she said before she passed away. And then in the final series, we have this new member of the agency, and she is a lot like Archer, except she's British, and she every time when they go into a mission, Archer feels like he has a competition involved. And of course, the new agent, she goes by the name of Zara Kane, voiced by Natalie Drew. Natalie Dew, that's her name. Natalie Dew, she's a British girl who, I mean, she's like if Archer has a sister, that is definitely her, because she is a lot like Archer. And then that's when they heard the news that now the government decided to shut down independent spy organization, try to consider them to be illegal, except CIA. And that's it. I mean, except CIA and Interpol. But they're shutting down all the other organizations for good. So they tried their best to do a final mission. And of course, Kadia and Barry showed up to try to help them, since Barry decided to become more like friends to Arthur. to Archer, I mean. And surprisingly, they did their mission, and of course, Slater is responsible for shutting down all the independent spy organization. He's the one who told the government to legalize, try to illegalize the independent spy organization. They did their mission, but sadly, the bill went through. So now, the organization that Lana Kane runs is no more. And it was a farewell to all the members. And they were having their final farewell in the bar until Archer disappeared. But of course, the reason why he left is because he wanted to have one more making sweet, sweet love with Katya. So, when they were shutting down the organization, one of the Interpol agents was contacting Lana to ask her, does she know about Archer? And he's like, nope, haven't seen him. Which he lied. He was still hiding. He was there to say farewell to Lana before he's going to go off on his own as a rogue agent. He's becoming more of a freelance agent. I guess he just couldn't stop spying. He wants to continue on as a spy. And that was the end of the series of Archer. Well, this is my review for the day. And for all of you who like my review, please leave a comment down below, hit like and subscribe, and sorry for the shirt. Come as you are. It's the only shirt I wear because I don't have a snazzy suit, so I can look more like James Bond. Because I like a gin martini, shaken not stirred, Miss Moneypenny. Still quick on the draw. I'm the multi-voice reviewer. I remember so I can jog your memory. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to say. Happy New Year, everybody! And this will be the first season of multi-voice reviewer. So, oh yeah, and one more thing I also forgot to mention. I'm going to be working on some other projects, folks. I know I'll be I did talk about the idea of Doctor Who in the video game world, but I decided to put that on hold. To be honest, folks, I've been having a bit of a writer's block here and there. I keep getting blocked right in the middle of my writing and my stories. But I've been working more into the Doctor Who Stargate unit since I haven't been doing any Doctor Who scripts for Yana Jessicine and her Doctor, so I think it's time that she should I should give her another role for her Doctor. And when I'm done with that, I'm sure I'm going to be doing some more, and also I'm trying to get back on my Galactic Defender for my Flash and Buckverse, and I'm still waiting for the line for my Madman series. So I just hope that the girl I asked to do the character of Gale can be able to record her lines and send them through my Gmail, and if that doesn't work, I'm afraid I have to recast her because she has problems with her recording. She records her lines, she's trying to send it through, but they always keep having problems. Like they're saying they have a virus in her recorder. I hate it when that happens. But anyway, later, folks.